Cattle numbers are falling. So Derrell, what's the mid-year cattle inventory report showing?
Yeah, the July cattle inventory report that USDA released confirms that cattle numbers are falling. The all cattle and calves inventory was down about 2%. You know, on the beef side, we're really looking at the beef cow herd was down about 2.4%. Continued, liquidation as we've seen the last several years, but accelerated by the drought. The replacement heifer number was down 3.5%. So that really has implications for our ability going forward. And if you look at the other inventory categories of other heifers, steers, and calves, adjusted for the numbers in the feedlots, the feeder supply was, estimated feeder supply was down about 2.9%.
Well, the heat wave that's still going on, but really in July was really, really tough in Oklahoma. So how did that impact markets in Oklahoma?
You know, we saw a lot of movement of cattle off in July. Markets were overwhelmed. We got a lot of anecdotal reports of auctions that were full of cows. Even feeder cattle numbers were up a little bit, and that did impact the market. Again, markets were overwhelmed, and so we did see a sharp drop in the cull cow prices in particular, a little bit of drop in feeder cattle prices. Both of them seem to be recovering a little bit by the end of July, but we're continuing to see fairly large volumes of cattle. Given this time of the year, we just don't have a lot of choices.
Has drought changed the overall market outlook going forward for the rest of the year?
You know, it's changed some aspects of our outlook for the year. Early in the year, we thought beef production was going to be down 2 to 2.5%. Because the drought has continued to force particularly more females into the market. Cull cow slaughter is up, heifer slaughter is up, and so that's keeping beef production a little bit higher. So we keep adjusting our expectation for beef production is still down, but maybe only 0.5% down for the rest of the year as we get to the end of the year here. So that part's changed a little bit. Price expectations haven't really changed very much. Prices are generally higher than a year ago. We expect in general that prices will continue to trend higher as we see these cattle numbers continue to tighten.
So when we moving into 2023, do you think the drought's going to impact that marketing year?
The drought is definitely going to have an impact in 2023 and even beyond that, I think, at this point. The drought is severe enough, it's pushing us to a smaller inventory than we ever intended to be, really than the market warrants. It's a little bit like what happened in 2011 and 2012 when we got a lot smaller. And of course, if you remember after that, there was a significant push to rebuild the herd. I think we'll see that again here at some point in the future in 2023, perhaps 2024, where we'll try to save a lot of heifers. We'll cut cow culling. That will really squeeze cattle supplies and beef production in the short run, and that'll probably provoke a fairly strong market response in terms of some higher prices for a period of time.
You know, given all of that, how should producers, plan going forward for the rest of the year?
Well, we got an eye towards that recovery at some point, and we keep that in mind. But really, in the short run, we've just got to be realistic about getting through this thing. We're still very much on the defensive at this point. It's August. We're not going to grow a lot more forage at this point. Even though parts of Oklahoma got some rain a week or so ago, that's not going to change things a great deal at this point. And even if drought conditions ease in the fall, it won't grow a lot of forage. So I think we have to be realistic about how to get to really, next spring and the next growing season. So we've got to think about how many cows, can I take care of? How do I keep my pastures from being abused too badly in the process? And actually think about the financial consequences of trying to keep more cows than you can.
All righty, Derrell, we'll check back in with you in a few weeks. Dr. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.